Welcome back to the BBQ Beautiful Podcast, where we talk about all things smoked meat and so much more, including hilarious stories about our farm-to-table lifestyle and our love of the outdoors. I'm your host, Trevor. This week we're talking about smoked, then braised beef shanks. Remember, the full video with recipe gets posted to the BBQ Beautiful Podcast group on Facebook. We're growing a community of barbecue and cooking enthusiasts. Be sure to post your pictures and videos, ask questions, and discuss with other members. You can hit subscribe on any of the BBQ Beautiful reels to join, and while you're there, give us a like to grow this community even more. Don't forget to get qualified for the Barbecue Brag to Win giveaway contest. Episode 27. Let's do this. All right, Kyle, here we are again. Smoked and then braised beef shanks.
It looks terrible, man.
So basically, cross section of a Thor's hammer,
Okay,
just cut into 4,
right?
and then get that flavor from the smoke. This was braised in, so there's some red wine in there, and then Guinness beer,
Okay.
and then a pile of onions.
Yeah.
So let's see, and then some crazy creamy buttery mashed, which are my
Yeah.
favorites.
This,
Keep with the theme of meat and potatoes.
dude, this is my heart right here. This is my food. It's my people. Yeah. I'm starving. That's all I gotta say. I'm freaking hungry. And,
So we'll have a bite first and save your Hawaii story for after.
Yeah, we'll save the stories for later because I'm hungry.
Yeah, my mouth is watering now.
Yeah.
Every time we sit down and
Just-
smell it.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, lucky. So I'm going after this thing. Yeah, your braised stuff is just crazy. Yeah, right? Mm-mm-mm.
Let's see. This is a first for me for braising in Guinness beer.
Mm,
I was wondering if this was going to be the one for Kyle to say, no, not for me.
dude. Oh man. Yeah. It's as good as it looks.
Yeah, when you can just fork it.
Yeah. That is as good as it looks. Every time. Wow.
With a scoop of the potatoes.
It's, what am I tasting? It's got a bit of a heat to it. Is it heat? Feeling?
There's not much for heat in there other than there's a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of W sauce, heavy garlic maybe.
No. Pepper? It's pepper.
It
I
was
can
just
taste pepper.
seasoned in base layer, so
Yeah, it's a pepper.
look at the color.
Oh
Like,
man.
look at that.
Show that to the
How
camera.
it just soaks up that smoke. It's
Mm.
and these were smoked for 3 hours and then just brought in, put right into the braising liquid and into the oven for 3.5 hours.
Nailed it again. This is crazy. So typically, do you do many of these, or you normally do the Thor's hammer?
I
right?
normally do the whole Thor's hammer, and but you know what? It's damn good right now.
Yeah, dude. It sure is. Wow. Yeah, this
then
is crazy.
Anytime you cook something on the bone, so look at that marrow.
Right. Yeah. You know what's
Oh,
funny? I
man.
never had bone marrow or would have thought of having bone marrow.
Try
somewhere.
that.
Until you made it. We came
Yeah.
over for dinner one night and you had those bones cut in half by the butcher. And,
Yeah, bacon jam.
Mm-hmm. But, so good.
I
You
know.
can even taste the smoke in that too.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, this is. I need to up my braising game. Like, I don't braise a whole lot ever. And the first time I tried it, after I had one of your damn pork chops that you see him crush in the video, I'm like, I need that. How do I do that? I wasn't paying attention. It dried out. I've talked about it before. And that was my end of my kind of braising.
You just got to be careful that
but
whatever you're braising it in the oven is completely sealed, because otherwise it's like a pot on the stove. If it's cracked, it just simmers that liquid out of it.
yeah.
So even cover it with tin foil and then put a lid on.
Okay.
But just to keep all that steam and moisture in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you let something go 3.5 hours, it'll...
Yeah. I should have checked it. Had I checked it, I would have, added more stock to it or whatever I had to do, right? But man, every time I try your braised stuff, it's just like, this is crazy. I'm like, we didn't bring knives, but we don't need knives because it's just use your fork.
So good in the winter too, because you just literally get it on the smoker and then in the oven, and then do whatever you need to do for the day, and here's what you get at the end of the evening.
Right.
Which I like about it.
So this cook, total time, prep, cook, all that shit?
You're going to need about 7 hours for this one.
Okay.
But again, the day before, you'll see in the video, seasoned and then put in the fridge to dry brine.
Right.
And then on the smoker. And I typically, when I'm setting up my offset, I pull the meat out just to bring it up to room temp before I stick it on. So
yeah, it's typical.
I mean, there's pros and cons against either way, but that's just what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I like Thor's hammer so much. I was unsure when you put the sauce on, but honestly.
Yeah. This is crazy good, man. Wow.
And that is a cheap, economical cut of meat. Cheap.
Okay.
These are the ones people, I would never eat that, or it's a throwaway. Right. Some of this stuff is the best cut of meat when you slow cook it. Because there's so much fat in these, but it's like rendered down.
Yeah.
And just soft.
Yeah, it's funny that like back in the day, briskets were the throwaway meat and they were cheap as dirt. Everybody started cooking them and, found a way to make them super edible. And now I wonder if that's going to happen with more, if people start braising more.
You know what it's happened to? Short ribs.
It has
crazy expensive.
Okay.
Crazy. And those used to be, you never seen them.
Yeah. I saw them in Costco too. And I was like, how are these so damn expensive? Yeah. Right? You're right. Yeah.
And that was just another throw into the ground beef.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Right.
But now everybody's doing it, smoking.
Yeah.
They're one of the best things you can eat.
Yeah. Funny how that all times change, right? With stuff like that. But yeah, this is...
I can't believe the color.
Like,
look at that. You can't even call that a smoke ring.
No.
It's completely penetrated the whole piece.
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah, this is awesome, man. Yeah. Do this. If you're going to do something, do this. I promise you. This is crazy good.
Yeah. Oh, man. I just love potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, mashed potatoes in this. If you can nail mashed potatoes and nail this, then you've got something for your arsenal for sure.
And if you want to throw some roughage on the plate with it, go ahead. But this is, again, rich.
Yeah.
It's definitely a rich meal.
Wow. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was skeptical at first. Did I even say that right? But
yeah,
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah. Cool.
And you're all tanned up. What did you get up to?
Yeah, I went to Hawaii for a week. We zipped over there. Kids were off for a week. My wife books her time off with work around the kid schedule.
Right.
And So it works out well. So we usually end up, especially in the cold months, we get the heck out of here, right? So off to Oahu we went. We always stay in Ko'olina, the Marriott. It's our go-to place.
Right.
It's quiet. We got married. We stayed at Waikiki.
Yeah.
And it's busy. It's like being in downtown Vancouver. It's busy, buskers and homeless, and just a lot going on. Whereas Ko'olina is kind of away from everything. It's quiet. You've got like the Disney resort is right there as well.
Yeah, it's a bonus.
So you can sneak down there and get a Dole Whip. And we went to the water park. There's a Six Flags water park there.
Yeah.
So
did you guys end up going to that? What was it? The singing show?
The Luau?
No,
that was the week before we came. Yeah. So American Idol.
Yeah.
We were filming that at the Disney resort, but we missed that by a week. We thought it was going on when we were there, so we are going to sneak down and check that out. But
did you retry a luau?
I didn't.
For some salt pork?
No, this trip was pretty packed, and the luau that was right next, like in that area, is the one that we went to last time, and it was like terrible salty. But it was a good trip, man. It was, we go down because Ko'olina's on the one corner of it, and you keep following that highway till it ends. And we call it Space Force Beach because Space Force is literally there.
Oh yeah,
and military base, but they've got a beautiful beach there. There's bathrooms and showers and stuff. There's a lifeguard. Huge waves, and so my wife and my youngest daughter got pretty taken out by some waves. They got beached. Yeah, they got washed up on the beach big time. So I was out there with my 8-year-old, and I've taught my kids. We go away quite a bit. We play in the ocean a lot. So, first thing you want to do is water safety and things like that, how to look for riptides and, how to handle the waves when you're in them. So you get out past where they curl and, you either ride them over or you go through them. And then my wife came in to join us at one point, and, they were just kind of floating out there in these pretty big waves. They're like 10, 15 foot waves coming in. And, but they'll come in like sets, like 2 or 3, and then it calms down. Oh, yeah. They're smaller, like maybe 5 to 10. And so my wife went to come in to join us at the wrong time, and she just got her ass handed to her, washed up on the beach. So we're laughing at my wife. She's all sanding through her hair. And then these sets came in, and normally it's like 2 or 3 sets, or like 2 or 3 waves, and then it calms down a little bit, and then 2 or 3 waves. This time it was like 10 waves in when my wife tried it, and it's like 10 waves in, and they're not getting smaller. Like they usually kind of chill for a second, and then you get your big ones again, and they're just like continuing. And I'm like, and my wife's like, you guys need to get out. She's all freaked out, and I'm like, we're fine because we're out past where they break, right? So it's fine. And then I'm like, they're not getting smaller. Like we're waiting for the smaller ones to come so we can exit. It's like they're not getting smaller. And then I'm like, this setting in, like, what if they just keep getting bigger? I'm like, maybe we better get while the getting's good. So I'm like, hey, it looks like there's kind of a smaller one coming. We're gonna ride this in as far as we can, and then we'll get our feet and scramble up the beach. And Ellie didn't. Well, she's only like this big around, right? So she didn't catch shit. And so we ended up getting pushed in quite a ways by that wave, but not enough where we can grab traction on the beach and get the hell out of the water. And so it's like we're in the shitty spot that we don't want to be, right? And it's like, oh shit. I'm like, turn around, we got to go back out because this wave's coming, and we need to be at a certain point, right, where we can at least dive through the wave. And we weren't at that point, and I didn't want to abandon her. Like I could have got back there, but I'm not going to abandon her. So boom, we get washed up on the beach. She gets it worse than I did because she was still further in, and I turned to dive through the wave as it was coming, but it was still took me a bit. I got washed a little bit up the beach, but she got wiped right up to my wave, which was kind of lucky that my wife was there because she grabbed her,
scooped her out,
lost her goggles, her brand new goggles. So she was just pissed about that. Right? She was just mad that she lost her goggles. And even though she had sand in her eyes because they ripped their goggles off
Yeah.
like the waves, and then she's rolling around underwater with this sand and getting sand in her eyes. But she was just pissed that she lost her goggles, right? So she's gonna sue the beach and should be shut down because it took her goggles and all that. She was very pissed, but it took her a while. That was the first time she's had, got washed up on the beach, right? So I remember my other daughter's first time. We were in Kaanapali and she got washed up on the beach, and it's scary, right?
Yeah.
It's you don't know up from down, and you're getting tumbled around in sand, and you can't see, and shit's going on. You don't know what's happening, and so for a little kid, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to kind of get in the mind frame because it was nothing to me and it's fun.
Yeah.
To her, it was like the end of the world happened, and it took goggles and
It was a good lesson because, like we talked about, by that age, we'd already been in 15 or 20 life or death.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So it was the first time she ever experienced that.
Because we came from the generation that was outside playing.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, it was pretty fun. We have a good time, and I'm like, "Did you die?" She's like,
Yeah.
"No." I'm like, "Then you did everything right."
Then
I'm
you had
like,
a good
"Good
time."
job. You survived it, and you did everything right," and blah blah blah. So it took her the rest of the day to wrap her mind around it, and then she was cool with it. But awesome, weather was great. We shitty thing was we had flew a red eye home from there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like Saturday night. We had left the resort at 9 p.m.
It's a long day.
So yeah, you get up. Like I was up at 6 in the morning, right, and out trying to make the best of my last day. And then I remember standing there, where you at the front of the hotel. And there's a big wall with waterfalls that you could look over the resort. So I remember standing there, and we just took our last minute. We checked out, and cars behind us, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, I don't want to leave. It was just dead calm,
And it's
hot.
30 below back home.
We left, it was minus 27, no, minus 28 when we left. And when we landed it there, it was plus 20.
Yeah.
So it was just polar opposites, right? And just standing there and looking out over the resort, and it was dark, and everything's lit up nice, and you're standing there and you're like, I gotta go home to shit. It's like, man. And so that was tough, but
And a long flight to think about it.
Yeah, the way there we flew business, so we had our little pods and stuff. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
pretty comfy. And I wish we would have opposite because we couldn't get the business class on the way home.
Yes,
and that would have been the time to be in business class. And but they were full. We couldn't. We ended up not getting a spot, so we flew extended comfort or something on the Dreamliner. So we weren't in premium, but we had more leg room, I guess.
Yeah.
But we were kind of split up. So yeah. The day at Six Flags was awesome, doing the water slides and the tubes, all that kind of stuff. I took my cast off when I got there because I knew I was going to be in the water the whole time, right? So I went in the hot tub and soaked it in the hot tub and then popped it off. And I've got a splint that I can put on, and I just tape it on my finger, which was fine. But I was going down one of the water slides. We're on, like, remember those old curled toboggans with the handles? And I had a hold of that, but I don't have a good grip with my pinky, so it's kind of sticking out. I was going so fast, like the guy at the end was telling me to push the front of it under the water because I was just sliding on the water, right? I almost caught air on the last thing coming down. Now I was freaking motoring down that thing, and I would have shot off the end of it, like for sure, had I not stuck it into the water. But I see him panicking, and I'm coming 100 miles an hour at him, and he's like, push it down. So and I did.
And then here goes your finger.
And the first time it was good. The second time, same thing. And I was pushing it down, and I don't know what happened, but the splint popped off my finger.
Oh, yeah.
So I came to a stop at the end. I almost crashed into the wall a little bit, but then I'm like scrambling, trying to find my splint in the water and get it back on my finger. And I don't know if I had bent my finger because I cannot, like, I'm not supposed to bend this finger at all for 10 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, did I just bend my finger? And and I got to restart my 10 weeks over and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that was my only, downfall of the day. But other than that, it was just a perfect day. Busy, it was not busy, it was during the week. So it was, you could just basically run around, and wait times were like 30 seconds on everything, right? So it was awesome.
On the bright side, your plane didn't end up on the roof like in Toronto there.
No, I was kind of hoping, you always you hope to be in a little bit of a plane crash just to get rich, but enough to get rich, but not enough to get hurt. Yeah, there was crazy stuff going on with planes and stuff. So that's kind of in the back of your mind a little bit too, thinking,
all these birds are falling out of the sky.
Yeah, but then you look at the stats and stuff like that, and you have a better chance of winning the lottery than you do getting a plane crash. So, great trip. Looking forward to the next one. I think the kids have a week off at the end of this month, and they get 2 weeks off. So then last week of this month, beginning of next month. So
yeah,
we'll see where we end up that time. I did take a few videos. I cooked some steaks and some salmon when I was down there. Didn't get as much video as I wanted to, but like I said, the barbecue pits there, man, are awesome. I met people. I talked about BBQ Beautiful with a bunch of people, because everybody's like, where are you from?
Yes.
What do you do? And you get into those conversations when you meet people at the barbecues, and then food, and they're like, oh, your hat, and that leads into stuff, and it's just awesome. So I actually spent most of my time just bullshitting with people and getting to know them, right? And where are you from? And just getting into conversation. So I didn't really have the time to set up cameras and do a cook in there, just because it's kind of, that's fun to be social and hanging out at the barbecue pits. So
yes,
I love it. It's a highlight of my trip.
Right
and
on.
It's like the most beautiful place in the world you could barbecue. So it's like,
and we were holding down the fort in the 30 below.
Yeah.
And then
yuck.
It was like minus 27, and then the next day plus 10. So
Right.
everything started melting, and then we had a week of pretty decent weather. Now it's snowing again.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the melt, and then it's supposed to snow again next week.
Right.
So we're in that phase now.
Yeah. I hate March, April.
Yeah. It just drags and drags, and seems like it's never going to end.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Although, this warm weather is pretty unusual for this time of the year. So maybe we'll get an early spring. I don't know. And then we're just into forest fire season anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like we go from cold to forest fires.
Yep. Instantly.
Yeah.
They just start back up because they're burning underground.
Yeah, right.
They don't even
A
go
lot
out.
of them do, yeah. Yeah. I bet you if we looked at the app right now, there'd be 20 active forest fires right now. It's kind of weird.
But yeah, guys, give this one a shot for sure. I think this was excellent for
crazy.
A very economical, cheap cut of meat that you can do something awesome with.
One question. So do you buy this as a Thor's hammer and cut it yourself? Like the regular people, like people like me. What do I buy for this?
No, you'd have to ask the butcher to do it.
So you buy a Thor's hammer and have the butcher slice it.
Or a lot of the times they're selling like these pucks.
Okay.
So it's more common to see this than a Thor's hammer. You usually have to ask for them to cut and French the bone out.
Okay.
Because this is typically how they're doing them, just in soup bones or something.
Okay.
But this was our cow and they were big.
Yeah.
And then I had just cut some, left a couple Thor's hammers.
Right. Okay. Yeah, just curious how to purchase something like this. What do you ask for? What do you look for? What do you?
And I mean, if you had a Thor's hammer, even if you have a meat saw,
yeah,
you could cut your own.
Right.
But just ask the butcher to do it on the bandsaw quick.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all you have.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned from you was just ask the butcher to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I used to buy a round roast if I'm making jerky or something, and it's like I'm at home with my slicer, semi-freezing it, and it's a pain in the ass. I just go in there and I'm like, hey, can you slice this? Yeah. 2 minutes later, it's all sliced up. I'm like, well, why am I dirtying my slicer and taking 45 minutes out of or an hour
cleaning
of my
those
day?
Things is a nightmare unless
like,
you're going to do a big
totally
batch.
Like, that's what the butcher's for. You use it, right? So,
and they'll do it, and they got the good gear that they don't have to semi-freeze it. And
right. Yeah.
They just zip, zip, zip. Here's your jerky gone.
Totally. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good tip.
Yep. But definitely give this one a shot. And, we're looking at doing a few different things on the page now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to get some live videos going just to get you guys' feedback, ideas. If you have any questions, that's going to be the place to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to try to get more action on that, on the group, and try to bring you guys more content and stuff. So work hard to, take more time out of our lives to
Yeah.
continue on building this community up. So,
Yes.
yeah. So we'll have to figure out more schedules and stuff like that. But
Right.
looking forward to it and looking forward to feedback. It's one
Yes.
thing we need is interaction from you guys. So.
Yeah, I'm getting lots of feedback, but everyone's messaging me privately, right?
Yeah.
Like, definitely just post it to the group.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about it so everybody's getting that,
Yeah.
that tip or advice, or chances are somebody on there is going to have an answer,
Right.
or have done it differently, or have a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's really what we want to get to, is just that engagement with all of us, right?
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, for sure. I, as you know, bombard Trevor with all kinds of questions and stuff. So everything I've learned has been from him too, right? So if we can answer any of your questions, like, it's something I'm starting to get knowledgeable on things too, right? I've spent a lot of time smoking and stuff like that, but I feel humble sitting next to you because you're my sensei.
Yeah,
of
but
cooking.
you got a good point of view from the Traeger aspect, right?
Yeah.
And that's where,
Yeah.
a lot of people have the Traeger, so
Yeah.
you can answer a lot of those questions.
And my wife prefers it. Like, I'll bring stuff home from you.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that I cook, she prefers the Traeger because she doesn't like a heavy smoke.
Yes.
And yours is thicker. I don't know how to explain the taste. It tastes different.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like smoke tastes like smoke, but yours is getting a lot more of it than what the Traeger produces.
Right.
So, I kind of lean a bit more towards the Traeger myself, me personally.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
But definitely give this one a shot. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Kyle.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Okay. It's time for our barbecue giveaway that we're calling Barbecue Brag to Win. One lucky listener will win some amazing barbecue merch that'll take your outdoor cooking to a whole new level. Whether you're a backyard beginner or a seasoned pit master, this giveaway is going to be for you. So what's up for grabs? First, a BBQ Beautiful bundle. This includes one BBQ Beautiful base layer, honey heat, brisket rub, and a spicy chimney from our lineup of seasonings and rubs. Next, one t-shirt and hat of your choice from the BBQ Beautiful website, www.barbecuebeautiful.ca. And of course, there's going to be free shipping. How to enter? First, make sure you're subscribed to the BBQ Beautiful Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode or an announcement. Next, connect with us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok at BBQ Beautiful. Then share our latest episode on your stories or feed, and don't forget to tag us. Use the hashtag Barbecue Brag to Win. BBQ BRAGTOWIN. This way we can easily find your posts. Finally, drop a comment on our giveaway post telling us about your favorite barbecue recipe, or share your best barbecue tip, pictures, or videos. And here's the kicker. For each additional entry you want to earn, simply engage with us. Like and share the posts, comment on our episodes, or even send us a voice message with your barbecue questions or stories. The more you interact, the more chances you have to win. So get creative and show us your barbecue. Let's talk about the timeline. You have until the 25th of each month to enter. You don't want to miss it, and who knows, it could be you. Why are we putting on this giveaway? Well, we want to express our thanks to each and every one of you who tunes in each week. Your support means the world, and this giveaway is our way of giving back to this amazing barbecue community that we're building together. And we really do want to hear from you. So what topics do you want us to cover in future episodes? Are there any barbecue legends or techniques you want us to dive into? Share your thoughts in the comments when you enter the giveaway. This is all about community, and we want to make sure that we're bringing the content you all love. So to recap, subscribe to the podcast, follow us on social, share our latest episode using #BarbecueBrag to win, and comment on our giveaway post. It's that easy. Get excited because this is your chance to elevate your barbecue game with some awesome gear. Good luck to everyone out there, and may the best griller win.